While we're waiting for the next installment of Animal Crossing to be announced, I figured I could pump out a quick video in this time frame. In today's video, I want to share some obscure information about Animal Crossing New Leaf. Not just small tidbits here and there, but small information that can be helpful for people who still play the game. So without further introduction, let's get into 50 details and features of Animal Crossing New Leaf you may not have known. When you experience an unlucky day, it's not just tripping and falling a lot. If you accidentally encounter bees, they're twice as fast, making it much more difficult to get away. There's a mushroom known as the famous mushroom. Now, you can sell it to retail for 16,000 bells, but if you're willing to forego that payment, you can eat it and... I actually only recently found this out myself, but during the hide and seek tour, if you use a rental axe to cut down a tree that a villager is hiding behind, it actually freaks them out a little bit. In Club LOL, between the hours of 12 PM and 8 PM, you have the ability to swap out the gyroids at the back of the stage. Keeping with Club LOL, the color of the light on the sign changes depending on the music that plays. The light is red when 8-bit KK remixes are playing, the light is blue when DJ remixes are playing, and the light is yellow when KK Slider himself performs on Saturday nights. When you get your photo taken at the photo booth, you can change the color of the photo. By holding down the L button, the photo that appears will be printed in grayscale, and by holding down the R button, the photo that appears will be printed in sepia tone. The Garbage Can Public Works project actually decreases your town's living points needed for a perfect town instead of increasing them. I always found this weird because a garbage can is supposed to help keep things cleaner, but oh well. The train actually runs on a schedule. No matter what hour, you will always see a train passing through your town at minutes 3, 21, 35, and 49. So if you're trying to head over to Main Street and it's just a minute before any of those, you'd better run for it. Speaking of schedules, the balloon gifts that float through your town appear on a schedule as well. Every 10 minutes, a balloon will appear on minute 4. If you open cabinets or drawers in a resident's house, there's a chance you might find something inside, and they'll let you have it for free, though they may not be happy about you snooping around. If you try using a megaphone to call snowmen, this happens. When missing a spider or bagworm catch, you don't actually have to shake the tree again. Just try and swing your net on any side of the tree and you should catch it. You can actually try scanning the Super Smash Bros. Villager amiibo with Wisp, and he runs through some special dialogue if you do. When going to the campsite, Wisp will actually be there instead, and you'll be able to get exclusive Nintendo items. You may be familiar with the rare purple sunrises and orange sunsets that appear in aesthetic Animal Crossing Dream Towns, but there are also these baby blue sunrises that occur. When you use a silver shovel, there's a chance that the usual money rock will spit out ores instead of bells. This can be especially helpful if you want Cyrus to use ore when refurbishing certain furniture items. Upon donating the piranha to the museum, if you visit the freshwater section of the aquarium, that piranha will constantly headbutt the glass trying to get to you. If you purchase a King Tut mask at the Able Sisters and put it on, your character will trip and fall constantly as if they're having an unlucky day. New Leaf was the first game to add brand new personality types, smug villagers and Uchi/sisterly villagers. For example, while O'Hare is a smug villager in New Leaf and New Horizons, he was a cranky villager in the GameCube installments. The megaphone is intended for calling villagers from a long distance, not a very short one. If you call a villager's name while you're right next to them, they won't be happy about it. The bushes that you see on top of your town's northernmost cliffs aren't actually bushes and are, in fact, completely 2D. However, the bushes on the cliffs of Main Street are real bushes. When you go on the balloon or hide and seek tours at the intermediate or expert level, you can actually dig up and take home the pitfalls from the tour where you can prank your friends or villagers. Now, if you're really bored, you can dig a hole in front of a rock, sit on the rock, then fall into the hole as if it were a pitfall. If you open your gates to local players, beehives won't fall out of trees until you close them again, so you can search for bells and spiders to your heart's desire without worrying about bees. TNT Mart under the Night Owl Ordinance is the store that remains open the longest that isn't a 24/7 place. Under these conditions, it is open from 7 AM to 5 AM, otherwise, 22 out of 24 hours of the day. Beans in the Welcome Amiibo update are easily obtained by talking to Harv enough times. However, prior to this update, beans were only available in the Japanese versions of the game, which were sold at the Nookling store in early February for Bean Day. If you weren't playing a Japanese copy of the game, you could only obtain these by having someone with a Japanese copy visit your town and give them to you. If you build a public works project too close to the cliffs in your town near the waterfall and hold the ceremony when all your villagers are awake, there's a chance one of your villagers will actually be glitched on top of the cliff. Frogs are the only villager type that don't use umbrellas on rainy days. If you're tired of it raining all the time and messing up which flowers you want watered, you can make a new character and delete it, and your town will have clear skies for the next few days. You can't really get rid of Wisp's magic lamp forever. If you sell it or find some other way to get rid of it, the game will recognize you don't have it, and the next day, Wisp will reappear in your town asking for help. When you talk to Rossetti in his RV, he mentions that he actually has kids. Villagers won't request new bridge types if you already have the maximum 3 bridges you're allowed to have in your town. If you remove one of them temporarily, the requests should come in. Filling your inventory entirely with flowers can help narrow down the requests they give you upon pings as well, as they can't sell you anything nor give you anything. Prior to the Welcome Amiibo update, you could actually hold players hostage on Club Tortimer. If you talk to Leilani to start a tour, yet don't actually go on it, any other person who tries leaving will only be told to wait for the person who started the tour to leave first. This usually meant you had to find a way to force end the online session, like using the wireless switch or powering off your 3DS. Villagers are no longer able to get sick after the Welcome Amiibo update. This was because of a bug where a sick villager could be chosen as the next villager to move out, but since they were inside their house for days, you had no way of convincing them to stay, thus leaving them to move out without so much as giving you a warning. When you cut down a tree, you might discover a unique pattern on the stump. These stumps actually allow for rare types of mushrooms to grow around them, like the aforementioned famous mushroom. You can also use a silver axe to guarantee that a rare stump pattern appears. Ever been extremely confused as to why that cedar sapling doesn't grow despite you giving it ample room? That might be because you're planting it in the wrong section of your town. Cedar trees are only able to grow in the northern acres of your town. When you talk to Gulliver, the places he mentioned are actually references to other Nintendo games. For example, Rico Harbor from Super Mario Sunshine, or even Animal Crossing City Folk, where he references when he was once an astronaut. To fix your bee sting-ridden face, rather than purchasing medicine, you can simply save and quit the game, then reopen it, and your face will return back to normal. Inside the museum, you can get bit by the very mosquito you donated. You obtain the Tycoon Bell Saver badge when you save up 100 million bells. However, the badge will say that it's for players who have saved above 1 billion bells, which isn't even possible since the ABD only goes up to 999 million. When your residents ask to buy items from your inventory, they stray away from asking for important items like flowers, tools, and exclusive furniture. However, if you ask a visitor in your campsite to move in, they may want to wager on it, and the item they decide they want could very well be any item from your inventory, including golden tools. Don't feel like spending 500 bells to have your fortune told by Katrina? Well, if you're lucky enough playing raffle games at fireworks shows, you may be able to win a lovely phone, which will tell you your fortune for free. You can get one of 3 different kinds of grass patterns upon town creation: circles, squares, or triangles. I always liked how circle grass patterns were transferred into these unique star patterns during the snowy season. Cranky villagers have nieces. I don't know why, but it seems their nieces only talk to them when they need some sort of insect. On Sundays and Mondays at 3:33 AM, turning on your TV will give you this creepy alien message for the duration of that minute. If you want to reset your town without going through the whole Tom Nook dialogue, all you have to do is start the game while holding A plus B plus X plus Y, and a screen will come up asking if you want to delete your save data. After a couple button presses, you're basically all set. Villagers will always notice if you've been stung by a bee, regardless of how you try to cover your face. Put on thick sunglasses or even a full-on me mask, or even have a missing head due to the totally legal means of playing this game failing, they'll still figure it out. Somehow. If you cover your entire town with flowers, paths, and trees, with the exception of several open areas, you can practically guarantee fossils in those areas, as well as ground bugs like mole crickets, grasshoppers, and even scorpions. When you place a 4-leaf clover in your house, it will actually take the form of a book, with the clover being used as a bookmark. This clover will also net you an additional 7,777 points with the HHA, making it a must-have. When you utilize the flea market at retail, all you need to remember are 2 things for villagers to make a purchase. One is that villagers will purchase items up to 4 times their usual sell price minus 1. So if you're putting an item up for sale that's usually 600 bells, you should put it up as 2,399. And secondly, items put up for more than 10,000 bells will not be purchased by any villager. Purple violets are the only flowers with usually hybrid coloring to be considered non-hybrid flowers. Similarly, white carnations are the only flowers with non-hybrid coloring to be considered hybrid flowers. Well, that's all for this video. Let me know how many facts you guys recognized in the comments, and also let me know which one you found to be the most surprising. Thank you guys for watching, be sure to subscribe if you'd like, and I'll see you all in the next video.